Well, Sabbath greetings, brethren. I hope you are doing very well. I hope you've had a great week. I really, really do. But I know for many of you, it's been rough. We've got several that have been in the hospital and been dealing with various surgeries and just trials of, all different kinds of varieties. We all face trials, and that's what's been kind of on my mind throughout this week. It's been kind of a tough week, and so I certainly have had a lot on my mind, but one of those things is just, we always have to keep our trials in perspective because, whatever you're facing at any given time is your trial, and there are various trials. I want to turn there, and it's 1 Peter chapter 1, where Peter talks about, 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 6. He says here that in this you greatly rejoice, though now for a little while. In this life we're going to face trials. If need be, you have been grieved by various trials. Various trials. There's varying degrees of trials. Some are called fiery trials, that the genuineness, as he says in verse 7, the genuineness of your faith being much more precious than gold that perishes though it is tested by fire, may be found to praise, honor, and glory in the revelation of Jesus Christ. And I love that scripture, and the more I think about it and meditate on it, the more I grow to love that particular part of 1 Peter, because it's talking about the inevitability of trials. Part of this life is definitely we're going to face tests and trials. It's inevitable. It's absolutely inevitable and necessary that the genuineness of our faith is tested. It's tested, and that's a part of what we're going to be facing in this life. Various trials of varying different degrees. Some are more grievous at times, but we can always put things in perspective. It could always be worse, I suppose, if we want to look at it that way. We certainly have to learn to count our blessings even in the midst of trials, but we know that it's working for our eternal good, those various tests and trials. It seems like there's an awful lot of testing and trying going on. Certainly part of the dynamic is that we're coming up on the fall holy days here before too long. We know it's a very popular time for Satan to be very active and try to discourage us and try to bring us down. And so we've got to really focus on encouraging one another. I want to encourage all of you. I love you. I'm so grateful. Some of you have just set a tremendous example as you go through tests and trials, and to see how you have faced those tests and trials. It's encouraging to us all. So hang in there. If you're in the middle of trials, hang in there. Hang in there. Don't give up and quit. Look to God, trust God, and know that these trials do pass. They do pass, and we just have to hang in there and endure through those trials, knowing that, as he says here, that we may be found to praise, honor, and glory. When? Now? Today? Not very often do we have praise, honor, and glory in this life, but at the revelation of Jesus Christ. If we hang on and we endure, then that's when that tremendous praise, honor, and glory is going to be revealed. When Christ returns, if we can continue to endure these tests and trials, we're going through it together, and we've all got to try to do our level best to support and help and serve one another as we see each other facing tests and trials. As James says in James 1 verse 2, that famous scripture that when you're in the middle of trials, you read this and you just think, wow, is that possible? My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials of varying degrees, different types, different, sometimes they're nuisance trials, something we have to endure. Sometimes they're health trials. Sometimes they're job trials, relationship trials, various trials. But James says, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. You know, we grow in patience. We have our faith tested and we grow in patience. We learn to endure. We get better at enduring, because that is such an incredibly important and inevitable part of our lives, that we're going to be facing tests and trials. So I hope you all just hang in there, have a tremendous Sabbath, rest as much as you can from the worries of the week. Praying for you, that those of you that are sick and hurting and you know, maybe even in the hospital or enduring through trials, we're praying for you, praying that God intervenes speedily to give you relief from your suffering, that you can rise again in that sense and be at Sabbath services. And I hope you're encouraged this Sabbath. I hope you all have a tremendous Sabbath. We look forward to seeing you, the brethren in Milwaukee. It's a Milwaukee weekend. We look forward to seeing you. And then, of course, next weekend, next Sunday, I look forward to seeing hopefully more of you that are able to come from around the area into the Milwaukee area for our annual picnic. I think that's going to be a wonderful, wonderful time. It's a new park where we're meeting, and I hope many of you will be able to be there for that. So I love you all. I hope you have a tremendous Sabbath. Keep enduring. Keep praying for one another. I'm praying for you. I love you all. Take care and have a tremendous Sabbath rest.